Welcome back, Patriots. How's everyone doing? Man, I tell you what, it is a beautiful morning. Truly blessed by Lord above. If you've waken up today and you're watching this video, or you're going to work, or you're doing whatever it is you do, go hunting, give thanks to God. Give Him all the glory and let Him know that you're grateful that you've woken up today, because it wasn't guaranteed. But when you open your eyes and you take a deep breath and you stretch, yeah, you've been given that gift. Topic I want to discuss today is something I've thought about for a long time. We all struggle with it. It's healthcare. I hear people fight, the government fighting over the Affordable Care Act, or so-called Affordable Care Act. Ain't nothing affordable about it. Basically, if you want to get to the brass tacks of it all, it's doctors that keep healthcare up. I understand that they go through, grueling education to be the best in the operating room that they can be, or in triage or wherever. I understand that. Okay. But healthcare should be priced at what the very poorest can afford. If a life can be saved, a dollar sign should never be put on it. And I feel that the medical field, doctors and whatnot, use your own health as a form of extortion to bleed you of all or most of your money. I don't understand that. You don't break someone so someone can live. Not everyone in this world is wealthy. And, so now you got insurance companies coming in. Well, he'll pay this much a month. For all you doctors out there, know this. Sure, you may get a lot of money, and you want a lot of money, and you want to go play, and you want to do this, and you want to afford everything. You want to be rich. I understand that. Okay. But what is in something that you give your soul up for? I said that wrong. You can gain the world and still lose your soul. What have you gained? Pretty much. That's in my own words. Which means the life you save could be your own. The reason why life is so important is you never know. It may be that one person that changes mankind for the better. You may have a doctor that has been racking his brain on how to cure his child of a certain disease or whatever it may be, and he can't do it. But someone he saved may be able to. You never know. It's like with abortion. You write these lives off, but you don't understand the importance behind them. You don't understand that there's one birth that may be the greatest thing to ever happen to mankind, and you wrote him off or her off. That's scary. There could be one person that could bring balance to the world, and they were killed. They were aborted. That's why I choose life. We are all not born with the answers. But some of us, some select few by God, come in this world with a unique talent that will benefit everyone around them. And you never know which one that is. I watch the YouTube channel Liberty Hangout with Kimberly Bennett, I believe that's her name. Courageous young woman, a mother, a wife, going out into markets, farmer markets, things like that, just talking to people, building up a dialogue on things that are going on in this world, how do you rate President Trump's job from 1 to 10? And a lot of people are negative in what they're saying, but they're not in Washington, D.C. doing the job. And for all you people out there that rag on President Trump for some of the things he's doing, because it's not working in your timeline. Like, oh man, everything needed to be cheaper on day one. I hate to tell you, but some things take time. And you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs. Now, it's reality that he's not going to please everybody. That's fine. I don't care. What I care about is that he takes care of us first. What I care about is he takes care of our veterans first. The ones who put their lives on the line so you can sit here and gripe, moan, and all whatever it is you do. Piss and moan. Okay? So, you get the right to do that in peace because someone put their life on the line for it. And you have the nerve to step on our flag, disrespect Old Glory. That flag didn't do nothing to you, but represent your liberty. That don't make sense to me. And for all you individuals here that are here illegally, and you want to fly your homeland flag on my homeland, you can take your happy ass back to your homeland where you belong. Since you support it and love it so much, go make your home better. Stop screwing up mine. But, everybody says, oh, that's free speech. No, that's treason. There's a difference. When you're flying a foreign flag on United States soil, that is upright treason. And it should be treated as such. President Trump talking about, someone who desecrates the flag, they get a year in prison. Well, Mr. President, how about you deal with these treasonous fools who want to fly foreign flags on our soil? That should be a stiffer penalty. In fact, treason is punishable by death. Now, I don't say that death is the answer to something like that, but sending them back to wherever flag they're flying came from, that'd be a good idea. And revoke them from ever coming back into our country again. But, oh man, this, it's, you have Americans who say they love this country. I love the traditions of this country. I look back in the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, watching these farmers work, pull up to an old gas station, pop your hood, they check your oil, fill your tank up, check your tire pressure, making sure you're safe on the road. That's the good old days. Where kids can walk up and down the streets in town, walk into a little old gas station, take out a little bit of money out of their pocket, pop it in the soda machine, pull out a glass bottle of their favorite soda, maybe go buy a piece of candy here and there. And, at the end of the week or two, they got enough bottles to put back in the little crate, take it back, sell the bottles, and do it all over again. That's the American way right there. That's living. And I got to do that growing up, and I hate that my kids didn't. I hate that my kids had to grow up in a modern world where things are in plastic, and it's now the push of a button. You used to pull them bottles out. You knew that when you were pulling them bottles out, you were being rewarded. Now you just push a button and it hits the bottom and gets all shooken up and flattens your drink too early. I don't like it. But that's the good old days, Get out on the farm, and milking cows and, supplying communities with milk and, hay and whatever it may be. Any co-op, feed that's coming out, all that good stuff. But now today everybody's trying to be modern. And let me drop a little wisdom on you as far as the modern world goes. The lazier you get, the sicker you get. See, when you have machines and computers and all this doing everything for you, you done forfeited your life. That means you're not getting any type of exercise. You're not, the things that, seem hard back in the day. That's why most of them are alive today. Because they didn't have something doing it for them. They got off their butts and worked their butts off. Manual labor is a good thing. That's the everyday man's gym. Ones who don't have time to go in the gym and lift weights, they don't have to. Their everyday lives keep them in shape. Messing around with implements, pushing a push mower to cut grass when you're walking, it's healthy. You go out there and you garden and you walk around your garden, make sure you're clean, that your vegetables and fruits and whatnot are growing well. It takes effort, and effort is what keeps you healthy. You can't sit still. You've got to keep moving. So relying on all this new technology and all this stuff is only going to shorten your life. Yeah, sure. It's nice to have something doing it for you. But you're not receiving any of the benefits, hardly. Except you don't have to get off your ass to do something. But it's all good in the hood. AI is coming out. I don't know why. There's plenty of people on this planet. You don't need to make up individuals with AI to do something. I never understood AI. Artificial intelligence. Man out to make something smarter than he is, only to one day probably be taken over by the AI program. And we all saw how that turned out in Terminator. It all became self-aware, decided it's going to wipe out mankind and take over the world. But seriously, I look back at the way pioneers did things, and I look, when I watch YouTube channels, I watch how things were done back in the day in cast iron skillets and pots and pans, and and how they did everything at home. They didn't go buy stuff that was made by companies. They did it at home with their own hands, and that's better because the ingredients that's going in what you're making. You don't need all this extra crap and poison that they're putting in your food. But, they're doing it. So, all I can say is get back to your roots. Work. I think we need companies out there, insurance companies, to sell health insurance. Open up the market. Let there be competition, and that will lower healthcare costs. a whole lot more, because you have companies competing with each other, wanting your business in order for you to have health care. I think that's probably the best way to go about it. The Affordable Care Act is not affordable. Ever since it was put out, it's the worst thing put out. They have enrollments on there that are phantoms. They're not even real. People are not even receiving them and stuff. So, like I said, you can't trust computers. You can't trust modern technology these days. So, yeah, I think we should have a free market where you can go with any company in the country, no matter where you're at, and buy healthcare insurance. It's capitalist. It's the way to go. And I think those in Washington, D.C. need to put their heads together and take this seriously. Forget the Affordable Care Act. Let's put some competition out there, and let's bring prices down. Well, guys, I'm going to enjoy this beautiful day. I may make another video. I don't know. But, you know, I've been busy the past few days, so I hadn't made one in a while. But I missed you guys. If you haven't, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You know, hit the notification bell. Every time I put a video up, it'll post. And share it. You know, hit me up. Send me a message, you know, down below in the comments. Tell me what you think. What do you think we should do with healthcare? You know, and things like that. You know, let's put our heads together, because it's going to take all of us together to get this done. And we need to find people who are smart enough to get it started and get it put together. So, yeah, just leave a comment below. I'll answer all of it. And see what we can come up with. God bless all of you. I love you. Give your heart to God. Praise Jesus every day. Give it to Him. Thank Him for His sacrifice and His teaching, and making a way back to our Heavenly Father. Because without that, we're lost. Okay, so give it all the glory to Him. Love you all. Talk to you later.